Welcome back to my kitchen, friend. I can say good morning still because it is 11:33. We are going to be making some fun, delicious, snacky type foods today. 2 of them are going to be savory and 2 of them are going to be sweet. I'm preheating my oven down here to 350. Up here, I'm putting my oven on the proof setting. I bought some fun, exciting new ingredients. Well, these are not fun, exciting, and new. These are some old bananas we're gonna be turning into mini chocolate chip muffins. But this is a fun, exciting new ingredient I've never used before. It's organic crispy puff quinoa. So it's quinoa that's puffed like rice. We're gonna make some chocolates with that, some peanut butter chocolate crunchy things. We need mini muffins. I'm just grabbing my ingredients that I have over here, my 4 recipes. Mini chocolate chip muffins were requested by my family. I have those bananas, so I thought we would make banana mini chocolate chip muffins. And then some other recipes that I just did some fun research and found are the other recipes we're gonna make. We're also gonna make some pretzel dogs, which I've never made pretzel dogs before, but it's on my list. I don't need my food processor today, but I do need my mixer. And we're gonna make corn dog muffins, which I think will be really fun and delicious. So 2 kind of savory type items and 2 sweet ones. Looks like I need to wipe my mixer down and I need to grind some flour for today's adventures. I will link all of these recipes and the equipment we're using down below if you want to make any of them. I think all of them except for the banana muffins are things that are brand new to me. I've never made homemade soft pretzels, and I've certainly never made homemade soft pretzel dough and turned them into dogs. I think that this recipe is gonna make way more pretzel dough than the amount of little smokies I have to turn into pretzel dogs. So we're gonna make some homemade, I think, just soft pretzels as well. My instinct is to double that recipe, so I definitely can get a ton of homemade soft pretzels and the dogs, but I'm gonna resist because it's my first time making them. And we are just gonna make a single recipe. So the first thing I wanna do though is get started with the dough for the pretzels because this needs to rise. So while this is rising, we can make the batter, we can make our quinoa chocolates and things like that. So I am going to do a fresh milled flour recipe, but I will link an all-purpose recipe if you don't have a grain mill and you want to try these and just use all-purpose flour, then that recipe will be down there for you as well. But today I am going to use some fresh milled because it's become my family's favorite. We have absolutely fallen in love with fresh milled flour over the last year. We need 540 grams of a hard wheat. And that's going to be basically my entire jar. Got a little excited there at the end. The recipe that I'm going to be following for this calls for 2 different types of wheat. I don't feel like getting my other wheat out, so I'm just going to use one today. This is hard white wheat. I just melted some butter in the microwave. And here I have, you saw me get my water out and my brown sugar. The recipe calls for barley malt syrup. I do not have barley malt syrup. And so she says if you don't have barley malt syrup, you can go ahead and just substitute brown sugar. So that is what I did. If these turn out absolutely delicious, I will next time maybe buy some or order some barley malt syrup, but I kind of just wanted to use what I had on hand. We're gonna get this mixed up and we need our flour to hydrate with this water for about 15 minutes or so before we actually add the yeast and start kneading this. So we can get going on some other things while this mixes and rests. So I'm just gonna put the lid on this and a towel over the top. we'll let this rest while we move on to something else. I think what I'm gonna do now is actually get going on the banana muffins, because this also needs to rest for about 10-15 minutes once we have our batter made up. So I'm gonna set this aside over here and make a little bit of room here. Now this is a new banana bread recipe I've never made before, and it looks really good, so I'm excited to try something new. And I've got some nice ripe, overripe bananas. Chocolate chip muffins, and mini in particular, have become my family's favorite. We have to have mini muffins, and I haven't had them in the house in quite some time. And I don't really like my mini muffin tins that I have, because I just have traditional tins. So I just ordered myself some silicone muffin. I want to say silicone muffin tins, but these are not tins. These are silicone muffin pans. And they have a wire rim around the outside, so you don't have to put them on a baking sheet to be able to carry them. I have seen these in the past, but they were really flimsy, and I wasn't interested in that, but I saw these that have this like hard outside so you can actually carry them. So I thought I'm gonna give these a try. I think these would be really good for like the copycat Starbucks egg bites too. So I'm excited I got those. If I like those, I might order the actual muffin tin ones. For Christmas a few years ago, my mother-in-law got me some silicone muffin liners, and I really like those. And so I'm thinking I'm really gonna like these. Now I need soft white wheat for this banana bread recipe, and I need 300 grams. This is actually a banana bread recipe, not a mini muffin recipe, but I am gonna turn these into mini muffins. My plan is to actually freeze most of these, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and double this while I'm at it, so that I have more pre-made muffins in the freezer. So I need 600 grams of soft white wheat. If you're wondering the difference between the two different types of wheat I just used, the soft white wheat, which is this one, has less gluten in it, and it's a better flour for making things like muffins, pancakes, pastries. The hard white is better for yeasted things because it has more gluten in it. So you can think of the soft as more like an all-purpose flour, and the hard as a bread flour that you would buy. And this is gonna make a lot, which is gonna be absolutely fantastic, because this is gonna make a perfect snack, breakfast, anything like that. I still have 5 bananas here. I bought so many bananas for a fun cooking project. I was gonna make banana Foster creme brulee, and then I ended up making something different for dessert. So I ended up with a ton of bananas that we get to turn into banana bread, and that mashed bananas that I did was exactly the 3 cups that we needed. And I've got my butter melting over here. This recipe is really interesting, and then it calls for that evaporated milk. That's what I put into this container. And I have never used evaporated milk in a banana bread recipe. Oh my gosh, I have like no baking powder left. Hopefully I have enough. Does this recipe call for baking powder or baking soda? It calls for both. And I think I have literally exactly what I need for the amount of baking powder here. I'm just gonna put all of it in there. And then maybe I'll put a little bit more baking soda than the recipe calls for, because I think I was probably about a 1/4 teaspoon short on the baking powder. So we needed, oh, and I'm doubling the recipe. Okay, let me, 1, 2, this is a 1/2 teaspoon, 3, 4 baking sodas. And I think baking powder is baking soda plus cream of tartar. Let me Google that real quick. Can you make homemade baking powder with baking soda and cream of tartar? Yes, you can easily make homemade baking powder using a 2-to-1 ratio of cream of tartar to baking soda. So I think to make a 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder, if the ratio is 1 to 2, that would be, I need 2 half teaspoons of baking soda and a 1/2 teaspoon of cream of tartar, I think. It's a little clumpy, so I'm just gonna, okay, hopefully that works, because this is a lot of ingredients. Okay, I need to put baking powder on my list of things to buy. This recipe calls for cinnamon. I'm gonna leave the cinnamon out because I'm adding chocolate chips. So this is my dry ingredients here. Add my evaporated milk, my butter, eggs, okay, well, I lost that egg. That's gonna be fun to clean. That egg went right into my cupboard. I got it clean. My mom always said, close the cupboard and drawers when you're cooking. Clearly, I've never learned that lesson because she didn't like when things would fall into her cupboards and drawers that would have to be cleaned out. Let's see, but it wasn't actually that bad to clean it out. Banana. This is coming together really quickly. This is gonna make so many mini muffins. I might even make 1 loaf, because that is something that's loved in my family too, is just a regular loaf. Let me grab my recipe. Oh, sugar. And this recipe does call for a lot of sugar, like most breads do. I need to grab my sugar from over here. For a double recipe, we need 3 cups. Now let me read over my recipe and make sure I have everything in here. Looks like I forgot the vanilla. So I'm gonna do 3 big splashes of vanilla. Get this mixed up, and then this is gonna sit for another 10 minutes. Let's just make sure I have everything. Flour, baking powder, baking soda. I'm skipping the cinnamon. We added the salt. We added the eggs, the banana, the sugar, the butter, the vanilla, and the evaporated milk. Okay, this is gonna sit for 15 minutes or so, and I think we can go ahead and add our yeast to our bagel recipe. Not bagel, I wanna say bagel. I keep thinking these are bagels. These are soft pretzels. Okay, now we're gonna mix this together and knead this. This is instant yeast because I'm not proofing the yeast first. We can just mix it in with the rest of the ingredients and go from there. This is gonna knead for probably 15 to 20 minutes or so. So I'm gonna clean up my mess a little bit because I've kind of created a little bit of a mess here, and then we can get going on, let's see. We've got our corn dog muffins we're gonna make and our chocolates. Let's make our chocolates next because those are gonna come together really quickly and I kind of want one. So we're gonna make them. They're gonna take some time to set. So I'm gonna make them, we'll let them set, and then we can try them together. We're obviously gonna try all these together, but I'm really excited about these quinoa chocolates. Before I start shaping my quinoa chocolates, I think our dough for our bagel corn dogs, or I'm getting everything confused. I think our dough for our bagel dogs is done. So I'm going to cover this, put the other cover on this, and I'm going to pop this into the oven to proof. I think these are going to be incredibly delicious, and they were so easy so far. And I wanted to share with you, these are some chocolate chips that I got from Azure. This was a 5-pound bag. I keep this in my freezer. And I love the ingredients on their chocolate. It's organic cane sugar, organic cocoa liqueur or mass, and organic cocoa butter. And I just really like their chocolate, their quality of their chocolate chips. For the banana muffins, I got these mini chocolate chips at the store because I ran out of my Azure chocolate chips, and there's definitely more ingredients in here than I would ideally like. They will be fine, but just so you know, if you are new to Azure or you've shopped there for a long time and you've never bought their chocolate chips are delicious and they have very few ingredients. So this is pretty cool because this is just quinoa, because the only ingredients in that puffed quinoa is quinoa. And then we have peanut butter, some salt, and our chocolate. I just had a cute little someone come in and try this, and so far they are a hit. So I'm excited to see what these are like once they firm up. At the end, Josh and I do a taste test, and I do not do my reaction justice to how good these are because they were sitting on my counter for probably 40 minutes before we did the taste test. And then after the taste test, I packaged them up in a freezer bag or a Ziploc bag, and I put them in my fridge. And I had been eating them throughout the rest of the week, cold out of my refrigerator. And oh my goodness, let me tell you, these are so good. They're so good. I ended up giving away over half of them to my sister just to get them out of my house because I loved them that much. It's funny, I was at Costco the other day picking up a prescription, and I found a package of basically this exact same thing at Costco. So if you don't want to go through the effort, they might actually have these at your local Costco. It was like a chocolate quinoa, basically same thing. I think I didn't read the back of the package because I was in a hurry, but let me tell you, these are a winner of a recipe. Oh my goodness. These are so good. If they taste anything, well, they're going to taste like what they taste like now, but if they hold up their crunch when they are cold, these could be a new family favorite. So good. So I'm going to pop these into the freezer, I think. And then I think I want to start actually baking up some of our banana muffins. Well, the crunchy quinoa concoction has been a hit because I've already had requests for more of it, but I said they need to cool and then we can eat some more of them. But for now, we're gonna get going on these chocolate chip muffins. And I realize I forgot to add the mini chocolate chips. I think I'm gonna add this whole bag. This is not in the recipe, a 12-ounce bag. I'm gonna mix this together and see what this looks like. I might add another half a bag because I want to make sure there's some little chocolate chips in every muffin. And when I make mini muffins, I don't like using regular sized chocolate chips because they just are too big. Okay, actually, let's see. I think each muffin will have chocolate chip with that amount. I am going to spray these. I don't know if you need to. I'm spraying them in my sink so I don't have to clean up a big mess after. I got these on Amazon and it was a 2-pack. And I'm excited to see how these work. Okay, this is gonna make so many. I did not need to double this recipe. I think I'm gonna make just a banana loaf too. I might bring a banana loaf to one of my neighbors because they help me out in a pinch all the time when I run out of ingredients. And so I like to make sure it's worth their while rescuing me in times of desperation. by providing them with some good treats. The next recipe we're going to make is going to be just as easy as well, maybe not quite just as easy, but it's going to be super easy. And it's going to be a protein one. Now, if you've never done freezer meals before, I highly encourage you to try at least once. You don't have to do a big cooking day like I normally like to do. But I can tell you that when I was postpartum, I did not cook for a solid month, and we ate so well. And I had a good variety of different meals and things in my freezer so that nothing felt like we were getting bored of it. We weren't getting burnt out on anything. It was amazing. I'm so grateful my mom came over and helped me prep all those meals. We did have some friends and family also bring us some meals, which was amazing. And then we did go out a few times and got some takeout a few times, which was nice. But it does feel good to be back in the kitchen. But I just love having homemade stuff prepped and ready to go so we can enjoy what I know my family likes without always having to cook anything. Like last night, we had pizza for dinner, and it was the frozen pizzas that we prepped. And if you saw that, I made 12 pizzas in a couple hours. Throw those in the freezer. I popped them frozen. I popped one frozen in the freezer last night. We had homemade pizza. I didn't have to messy up my kitchen. It was delicious. I also gifted some of those to my sister-in-laws, and my sister-in-law texted me yesterday and said she made one and it was amazing. There's just something really nice about homemade food prepped and ready to go. I can see one of these muffins needs a little bit more batter. Now these aren't going to take very long to bake, I don't think. I definitely want at least 2 to 3 more rounds of mini muffins, and then whatever's left, I'll make a banana loaf for my neighbor. And I'm going to set this aside, and let's make our batter for our corn dog muffins. Now these corn dog muffins, I'm going to make in a regular muffin tin. And now I just have to find my muffin tin. My oven does not work, so I've been using my oven as a storage container area. But Josh did call the oven repair person, and they should be here on Friday to hopefully fix my oven and my stove. I just need a new motherboard. So I'm gonna make regular size muffins for these corn dog muffins, but I'm going to line them with the silicone muffin liners that my mother-in-law gave me in my stocking, I wanna say like 4 years ago. These are something I would never buy myself, but I really, really, really like them. They just make cleanup so much easier. And that's why I was inspired to get those mini muffin liners. Now this next recipe, the corn dog muffins, this could be a lunch prep, not just like a quick snack, but I thought it would be also a good snack. I'm gonna make my cornbread homemade, but if you have a favorite box cornbread recipe, then go ahead and use that instead. And I'm gonna grind up some more flour because this cornbread recipe does call for flour and cornmeal. I don't have any whole corn to grind, so we're just gonna use some regular cornmeal from the store. I thought before I move on to making those cornbread dogs muffins, I'm gonna check my dough. This is ready to be shaped. I couldn't find my lid for this. This has a little plastic lid that goes on. It's somewhere, I just don't know where it is. So I use this cake plate. I'm gonna turn the proof setting off, and I'm gonna get this preheated to 350. I just set a timer for my mini muffins on my phone because I forgot to do that earlier, and now we can shape up our bagel dogs. And those muffins down there look pretty good. The cornbread dogs are gonna come together super quickly, so I really wanna get these shaped so they can do their second rise, and I can get them in the fridge to chill. Look at this beautiful dough. Okay. Now I'm kind of making this up in the fact that I'm following a couple different recipes to do this, I bought one little 14-ounce thing of Little Smokies. I want to just see how these go. If these work really well, then I think this would be a really fun thing to prep a ton of them and have them in the freezer for quick, easy, higher protein little snacks or an easy lunch. And I thought the mini ones would be kind of fun. So let's see how I'm gonna do this. I think what I'm gonna do is just take, well, you know what I could do? My mom used to take biscuits and she would take a hot dog and slice the hot dog in half, or not in half, but she would put a slit in the hot dog, add a bunch of cheese in it, and then roll it in a biscuit. Those were one of my favorite dinners growing up. I can't remember what she called them. She had a name that she called those. Should I enclose them totally? I don't know. This could be a complete flop, or it could be the best thing I've ever done. Out of the two savory snacks we make on this day, these ended up being my absolute favorite. They were so good. I say were because we have gone through them all at this point. I ended up keeping about half out and just keeping them in my refrigerator and then warming them up as we were enjoying them. And I put the other half in the freezer, but then I quickly realized that we were going through them so quickly that I pulled the other half out of the freezer, let them just thaw in the refrigerator, and we just reheated them and enjoyed them, and they were fantastic. I do think that these would be super fun to bring to a get together if you had like a football game to go to or a holiday or something like that and you were asked to bring something. I think these would be really fun to bring to a gathering with people, and to also then make a homemade cheese sauce and put that cheese sauce in a little slow cooker. I think that would go over so well, and I think you would be a very popular person at that party if you were to bring these little smoky pretzel dogs to a party, because they were just so yummy. These banana chocolate chip muffins also were a huge hit in my family. They have been being gobbled up. We've not gone through all of these because we made quite a few of them on this day, but they have been a huge hit as well. And you know, I bought these new silicone muffin tins. They're not tins, they're silicone muffin liners, silicone muffin pans. I'm not sure what you would call them. And I'm kind of on the fence whether they're my new favorite thing or I like the traditional one better. I don't know if these muffins stuck so much because of the sugar content that was in them, because they had sugar and bananas and chocolate chips, or if I didn't spray them enough, but I feel like I sprayed them enough. Because sometimes when I use just a regular muffin tin, they just like pop right out, and these I really had to work on getting them out. And so I need to use them again, and I've got my just traditional mini muffin tins, and I probably should try using them side by side to see which one I like better. See, some of them came out really easily, and then some of them kind of stuck. So I can't really tell if it was the ones that, like right there, I think it might be like the chocolate that kind of stuck. So I need to use them a little bit more and kind of get the feel if they're like my new favorite thing or if I like the traditional ones better. But I did notice that the ones that I did not overfill definitely baked up a little bit better because they baked up more fully and they didn't like overflow the muffin tin as well. That one batch of pretzel dough was the exact amount of dough I needed for that 14-ounce package of Little Smokies. And as I was doing this, I was thinking this would make a really fun football appetizer if you needed a game day appetizer with some cheese sauce. And I'm gonna see if I can get all of these to fit on here. I'm gonna let them rise for about 10 minutes. And then we're gonna pop them in the fridge and they're gonna chill a little bit before we boil them. Okay, I just kind of rinsed these out to try to get out any big pieces of crumbs, and I found that the ones that baked up the best were the ones that I did not fill very full. So it's just a matter of figuring out how to use this the best. So I'm gonna try not to overfill these ones. I just put a pot of water on to boil so we can boil up our pretzel dogs. And now let's go ahead and make up our bagel batter. Let me get the other oven preheated. I have, I think, just enough batter to do one more round of mini muffins. So that was exactly what I wanted, 3 rounds of the mini muffins. So we can have those meal prepped and a bunch can go in the freezer, and then 1 loaf for my neighbor. Now this is gonna come together super easy. I just have to find my recipe. This is my mom's cornbread recipe. It's a sweet cornbread, so if you don't like sweet cornbread, use whatever your favorite cornbread recipe is for this. And I need to melt 2/3 cup butter. My butter is over here. This is a big thing of butter here, and I need 2/3 of a cup. Do I have that on the side of here? 1. This is 1 cup total, so third. I'm gonna go with this is 2/3. I'm just gonna go melt that in the bowl that I'm gonna make this in. And I still have some of this evaporated milk left. I think there's milk in this recipe. And I'm just gonna use this instead of regular milk, because I don't really want to waste this and I don't know what else I would use it for. And I feel like you could use evaporated milk in cornbread and that would be fine. We need 1 2/3 cup. So let me grab the rest of the milk and we'll just do regular milk for the rest of it. That's 1 cup. That's 1 2/3. So here's our butter. I'm gonna add sugar, and I am adding less sugar than my mom's original recipe because I don't need this recipe to be that sweet, because we're going for a savory lunch or snack type thing, but I do want some sweetness to my cornbread. I do like a sweet cornbread. I know that is not everyone's preference. Put our milk in here, just to cool down that butter just a little bit, because it was pretty hot. My water is boiling. I think I want to get this cornbread in the oven before I start boiling our dogs. These are eggs. Mix this together. This is going to come together really quickly. We're almost done with this recipe. And then we'll have 2 that are completely done, which will feel nice. I'm gonna add the white flour, or all-purpose flour, not cornmeal. 1, 2, 2/3. I'm gonna have to add a little bit more just all-purpose flour because that wasn't quite enough. I just added the cornmeal, baking soda. That's my timer for the muffins, and I can see they could use another minute. And I can tell you probably 10 of those muffins I've already made have been eaten already by my family. So that's a great sign. So that was cream of tartar. So that was basically our homemade, how many did I put in there, 1 or 2? I don't know, put a little bit more of that. Hopefully that's enough. Salt, and then that's it. And I need to turn my timer off. that's flaky salt. I don't want flaky salt. Oh shoot, I just remembered I was going to add salt on top of our chocolates and I completely forgot, but that'll be okay. Let's get these in here. We're done with our eggs. And I can't find my little salt container that doesn't have flaky salt in it. So I guess I'll just get out my whole entire tub of salt. 1, 2 and a half. And that water is boiling, so it is ready to go. You coming down to get some lunch? Josh just got, yeah. Josh just came down, he's gonna get some pizza. I made 1 pizza last night, and it was enough for lunches, or it was enough for dinner last night and lunch today. Okay, he's gonna go rotate some laundry first though. Okay, this is ready to go now. I have no idea how many muffins this is gonna make. I went ahead and got these out of the oven because they look like they're perfectly done. I cooked them just a little bit longer than I cooked these ones. And I don't know if you can tell, but probably 10, maybe 15 of these muffins have already been eaten. I'm gonna let this batter sit for about 15 minutes or so while we boil up our bagel dogs. Now, I think there's an ingredient we're supposed to add to our water, and I'm pretty sure it's baking soda. A half a cup of baking soda to 16 cups of water. I have no idea how much water I have in there. I'm just gonna eyeball this. That's probably 1/4 of a cup, maybe 1/3 of a cup. And then I need to look to see how long I need to boil this for. And I need to preheat my oven to 400, not 350. These I think are ready to be boiled, and we're gonna boil them for 30 seconds. I'm going to try to flip these over and boil them on the other side, just like a bagel. Now I didn't chill these like the recipe said to do, but I think that's okay because I think that if I was making them in the shape of a pretzel, they would be more likely to kind of misshapen, and that's what the chilling is for. But this is just around a hot dog, so I'm not really worried about that. And they seem to be cooking up just fine, just like this. Okay, into the oven these go. I'm not going to put any salt or anything on the top because I think we'd prefer them just like this. So this was looking a little bit thick, and my mom's recipe just calls for all-purpose flour, and I used fresh milled, so I probably added another 1/4 cup, 1/3 cup of milk to that just to loosen it up a little bit. And that's looking more like the consistency I want. So now let's go ahead and make our cornbread dog muffins. So now we're gonna make these into the cornbread dog muffins. So I've got my favorite sausages here. You could use whatever your favorite hot dog is or whatever it might be. And let's get that off there. So I'm trying to make sure that the hot dog is big enough to kind of go through the whole muffin. Okay, so it looks like we're gonna get 24 of these. Oven is preheated, so now we have our bagel dogs baking. I'm gonna bake them half the time like this, and then I will rotate them. I think these bagel dogs are done. Josh, you wanna try one of these?
Bagel dogs instead of pretzel dogs?
Oh, they're pretzel dogs. I keep calling them bagel dogs.
They look kind of like bagels though.
Do you wanna try one? They're gonna be so hot.
Could I try it a little bit?
Yeah. How about we do a taste test with everything at the end? Does that work?
Sounds good.
Okay, these ones are done. I've been working on dishes as the ovens have been being in use, and I've got the dishes almost all the way done. I also got one more round of the mini muffins in the oven, and so now all the mini muffins are being baked. Whew, these are so hot. I'm gonna let those cool. These corn dog muffins would also make a really fun appetizer or thing to bring to a football party. I was thinking about that after. You could even, I did regular size muffins obviously, but you could do mini ones, and you could use little smokies for those as well. And the fun thing about these corn dog muffins is you can use whatever your favorite hot dog or Polish dog or sausage is. As long as you're using a fully cooked sausage, you could really use whatever your family's favorite is. And we really like those pineapple sweet sausages. And so those we thought were really good in this, but I do think after making them, they probably would have been better if I used something that was a little bit more savory and smoky, probably more like a Polish dog, just because the cornbread does have the sugar in it and the sausage was sweet and the corn was sweet. And so just after, I probably wouldn't use these sausages in them again. They were delicious, but then we also dipped them in ketchup. And so it just was a little bit like sweet on sweet on sweet. I think that a little bit of like smokiness or little spiciness or something like that would be really good with the corn dog muffins. Now here I did try to like dump out all the muffins like I would with a regular muffin tin, but that did not work with these silicone ones. I did have to pop each individual one out. And let me know if you think it is the chocolate chips, because my banana bread, the bottom of it stuck with this loaf pan too. So maybe it was the chocolate chips that made these kind of extra sticky. I don't usually use chocolate chips, and I did end up scraping the bottom of that banana bread and plopping it back onto the banana bread. And as it cooled, it did kind of reattach itself to itself. We got it all done. We have our quinoa chocolates. Josh is about to come down and do a taste test. I have already had a couple of these. Everyone in my family has been snacking on these. These are the mini muffins, so good. I've not tried our bagel bites yet, or not bagel bites. These are pretzel bites. I don't know why I'm having the hardest time with that. And our corn dog muffins. I have the other ones in the oven finishing cooking. And I just realized I do not have any freezer Ziploc bags. I was gonna put most of these in the freezer, in a freezer Ziploc bag. I have that loaf of banana bread. I am going to ask my neighbor if she has about 5 or 6 freezer bags I could have, and I will drop off the banana chocolate bread for her. And that is why I like to keep her well fed, so that when I come into instances like this, where I am out of something and she might have it, she can help me in a pinch. Because obviously we cannot go through all of this within the next 5 days or so. I wanna give the quinoa chocolate a taste test with you, and I want to say bagel bites. What are these? Pretzel bites. Josh is here. So I would probably, well, I don't know. I would maybe dip these in hot sauce or just eat them as is. I think my family would probably want to eat these with a little dollop of ketchup on their plate. I'm going to cut this in half.
Or mustard.
Or mustard.
It's pretzel. That looks good.
So this
burger
is...
patties look a little rough.
So those are not burger patties. I don't know if you heard Josh, but he said my quinoa chocolate rounds look like burger patties. You want to try it?
Yeah, definitely. Oh, interesting. That's good.
It's very savory. This is so good.
Yeah, really good. You definitely get the smoky, the smokies part. The dough is really nice.
Yeah, those are going to be a huge hit. I'm super excited about those. My mom used to make a hot dog. She would slit it, stuff it with cheese, and bake it with a biscuit crust. I think you could add cheese to that too, and that would be really good. Those are going to be a hit. I've already tried the banana muffins. Do you want to try those?
Yeah, these look great.
They're, I think,
Like
some of the
just
best.
one bite?
Yeah, it's just a
I like that.
one bite.
Oh yeah.
It's hard to go wrong with chocolate, banana, quick bread. Now this one, I'm curious to see what you're gonna.
I would say like really good banana flavor.
Yeah, that recipe had 3 cups of banana in it.
Oh wow.
So this, here.
I could probably eat like 3 or 4 of those banana things
Oh yeah,
easy right now.
oh yeah. So this is chocolate peanut butter quinoa puffed.
Quinoa.
Yeah.
Interesting. Oh wow. That's great.
This is really good.
I was not expecting much.
Oh really?
Just because I thought quinoa, I just thought,
There's like 8 grams of protein in a quarter cup of the quinoa. So they're kind of protein snacks. Now I will say they've been out of the refrigerator for probably 15 minutes and they are kind of melting on my finger because
they're a little melty.
they have a lot of peanut butter in them too. So these probably need to stay in the refrigerator and then just eat them straight out of the refrigerator, but they're good.
Great flavor though, great crunch. Like very crunchy.
You like the peanut butter flavor? So I realized I just washed my hands because the chocolate was melting a little bit. We did savory, sweet, and then there's one more savory one.
Okay.
I'm gonna cut it in half. So
Oh,
this,
so you did go with the cornbread sausage thing.
yeah, this is a corn dog.
I thought it was
Corn
going
dog
to be
muffin.
either this or the pretzel one.
Oh no, my thought was doing 2 savory, 2 sweet.
Okay. I mean, that stayed right in the middle. It's cool.
Yeah. It's a little odd going after the chocolate, but
A little ketchup though.
this is really good.
You dip this, it would be good, yeah.
I'm happy with it. It tastes like a corn dog.
It does.
With way less work. And you could use, you know what would probably be really good in this is more of a spicy sausage because the cornbread's a little sweet.
Yeah, that's
To do like not like a spicy sausage, but
a little
like
contrast to it.
yeah, like a kielbasa or a andouille or something like that.
Yeah,
Really good.
it's good.
I'm excited
Thanks.
about these. Yeah. So what I'm gonna do, so Josh, I am out of freezer bags, so I'm gonna text the neighbor and ask her. I made a loaf of banana bread for her. Thankfully, I made her a loaf of banana bread prior to realizing I'm completely out of freezer bags, gallon freezer bags, and I'm gonna freeze most of this. I'm
If
gonna
Orbit
text.
doesn't get some of it first.
I know my dogs are trying
He's
to get up on the
pretty
counters.
close.
Would you be willing to run down to the neighbors and drop off some banana bread and pick up freezer bags if she has some? I can.
Yeah,
I
I
was
can
gonna
also
say
go to the
borrow,
store. Can go to the store if I need to.
Okay. Well, thank you. So this is what I'm going to do. Here, I am going to put most of these in the. Actually, I think I'm going to put all of them in the freezer because I think these would be good out of the freezer. I'm going to keep a quarter of these out because these have already been really enjoyed, and I know if I freeze all of them, people will be sad. So I'm going to keep most of them out. These, I'm probably gonna keep out half of them and freeze the other half, and I will freeze all of these corn dogs. I have a little bowl of the broken ones. You can go ahead and take those. I'll probably put all the corn dog muffins in the freezer because I don't think we need all of that because I did go ahead and I made a dinner tonight in the slow cooker. So this is more for like snacks and lunches and not so much for dinners. And what I probably will do is I will pull out the corn dogs, muffins, and the bagel sausages and thaw them in my refrigerator overnight before reheating because I just find that things tend to reheat better if they are thawed versus putting them in the air fryer or microwave frozen. They sometimes, the outside gets rubbery before the inside is fully thawed. So this was super fun. I will link these recipes down below for you, and if you do not mill your own flour, I will link my favorite all-purpose white flour recipes down below for you as well. And I will link the quinoa, puffed quinoa, because I got that on Amazon. I'm gonna rank these in my favorites. When it comes to the sweet ones, I think I like the chocolate ones better because they have like that crunch and stuff, which I really enjoy, but those banana muffins were good too. And I would definitely say that out of the 2 savory ones, my absolute favorite are the, I wanna say bagel. They're not bagel, they are pretzel dogs. Those are so good, and I will definitely make those again. That would be a very fun appetizer. So thank you for being here. If you want to watch some more videos, let me pop videos here. You can go enjoy between now and my next upload. I hope you're having a fantastic day, and I can't wait to see you next time. Bye, friend.